The ICC Men's T20 World Cup starts within less than 12 hours. And the first match is taking place between Pakistan and Netherlands. And this match is very, very important to the plot of whether Pakistan qualifies or not. In this video, we'll break down the groups of the World Cup and we'll decide how things can go in the World Cup. Because there were so many complications with the World Cup starting, there will still be some inconveniences during the World Cup. So in this video, we'll be breaking that down. And before we begin, I'd like to ask you all to please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're updated whenever I upload a new video. So in Group A, we have Pakistan, India, USA, Netherlands, and Namibia. Now, at first look, this group tells us that India and Pakistan should qualify quite comfortably. However, we're all aware that Pakistan has refused to play against India. Now, that makes the situation quite confusing, because that then means that Pakistan need to win all 3 matches of their group. Because obviously India is out of the equation because they've refused to play against India. And we are aware that USA has already beat Pakistan in a World Cup. So that is something that could happen, and that would be a huge upset. At first sight, like I said, Pakistan is, one of the favorite teams to go through in this group. However, the situation is quite difficult for Pakistan now because they must win all 3 of the remaining games in their group in order to qualify. And the second team that qualifies from this group is between the US and Pakistan. It will be very interesting to see what Pakistan is able to produce tomorrow, because they need to get a very good start against a team like Netherlands, and they need to put themselves in the driver's seat so that they can, get their net run rate up. So let's say it comes down to who qualifies between Pakistan and US, and if Pakistan's net run rate is higher, then they definitely will qualify. So the first match will be very interesting to see what Pakistan is able to do. So that was the scenario of the Group A, and let's have a look at Group B. We have Australia, Sri Lanka, Oman, Zimbabwe, and Ireland. Now, let's just put Australia to the side, right? And no doubt Australia will qualify comfortably. There is no doubt in that. Now, number 2. I think Ireland have had a tough few months playing cricket, and they have not been in the best form. We know that they are capable of producing some special moments. However, Ireland have been struggling in the past couple of months, so I think their qualification is a little bit doubtful. However, the same goes for Oman as well. Oman, I think their qualification will be a bit doubtful. It's a completely different thing if they produce something truly special and manage to qualify. However, the second qualification team comes down to Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe. Now, yes, Sri Lanka has such a big reputation in the world of cricket, and they are hosting this World Cup. However, Zimbabwe are slowly gaining a very, very strong reputation for themselves. Zimbabwe, players such as Sikandar Raza, Ryan Burl, Ngarwa, their bowlers, their batting is very, very strong, and they are very powerful as a team together. And I think Zimbabwe are definitely capable of qualifying, and they probably have more chances to qualify over Sri Lanka, in my opinion. I do understand Sri Lanka not qualifying is a big, big upset, because Sri Lanka are the hosts and Sri Lanka are by no means a small team. However, I think over the past couple of years or so, I think Zimbabwe is definitely the stronger team when it comes to comparison between them and Sri Lanka. So from Group B, I think Australia and Zimbabwe will qualify. So that is the overall situation of Group B. Now moving on to Group C. Group C is a very interesting group. So in Group C we have England, Italy, Nepal, Scotland, and West Indies. Now these are the 5 teams in Group C. Now once again, let's just put England out of the equation because we all know England will qualify with no issues. However, now the other 4 teams, it's quite interesting. Nepal, I don't think Nepal will struggle to qualify. Nepal do have some very good bowling, and their fielding is exceptional as well. But Nepal's batting is very, very worrying, and they're not able to capitalize whenever it comes down to the batting. So I think Nepal unfortunately will not be able to qualify. Again, it's a completely different thing if they manage to pull out something very special and create an upset by qualifying, there is, that's a completely different scenario. So the first qualification, in my opinion, will be England, no doubt. Then the second qualification comes down to Italy, West Indies, and Scotland. Now, on paper, it should be West Indies qualifying. However, West Indies have had some very inconsistent performances over the past 2 years in T20 cricket, and we have seen they have not been able to find rhythm at all in T20 cricket. And yes, it is Italy's first I think international tournament, first tournament at all. However, they have produced some special performances in the warm-up matches. First, they beat the Netherlands. Today, they beat the US by a very big margin. Italy batted first and scored 194, and they bowled out the UAE for almost 100. So yeah, I think Italy definitely has a chance to qualify. And Scotland, once again, we saw in the last World Cup, they were on target to beat England and Australia in their group stage matches. However, the rain came into play and they were not able to do that, and because of the rain, the matches got, I think they got drawn and both teams got a point, and because of that, Scotland were not able to qualify. However, their performance in the T20 World Cup last time was very, very special. And we saw against the Namibia team in the warm-up matches, Brandon McMullen's innings of 95 from 35 balls, and also Richie Berrington's innings 49 from 24. So we have seen that Scotland are also, capable of producing something special. And then again, like I said about West Indies, anything could happen. On their day, they will win very, very comfortably. However, also there are scenarios where they struggle to do anything at all. So Group C is very, very interesting. We'll see what happens. The match between Group C tomorrow is very, very crucial. That is between Scotland and West Indies. It's very important to Scotland and West Indies that who wins that match, because that will give us, sort of a overview of what the current situation is. So yes, I think England will qualify, no doubt, and the second qualifier, I can't clearly say. I don't know. That will be something to watch out for. And then last but definitely not least, we have Group D, and in this group we have New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, UAE, and Afghanistan. Now this is a very competitive group. As we can see, New Zealand have been in impeccable form, and South Africa have been very destructive as well over the past month or so. South Africa have been playing on the level of India. However, Afghanistan are a very strong team, and UAE have also produced some very, very unique moments. At the top of the order, they have Mohammad Wasim, who right now is one of the most, he has the highest strike rate in the power play in world cricket right now, just above Abhishek Sharma. However, I think let's just be realistic. I think South Africa and New Zealand will qualify, no hesitation. However, I think South Africa qualifies, zero doubts. Second place, it will be a little bit tight for New Zealand. However, I think they will pull through. I think Canada, unfortunately, they don't have a chance of qualifying. Again, like I said, it's a completely different scenario if they somehow manage to. But on paper, I don't think they will. So yeah, I think New Zealand and South Africa will be at the end of the day. So the World Cup starts tomorrow. Like I said, the first match is at 5:30 in the UK. That is between Pakistan and the Netherlands. Then we have Scotland versus the West Indies just after that. And then finally, our last match of the first day, we have India and the USA. And I will definitely be keeping you guys updated regarding those matches. Let me know how you think those matches will go, and what you think, depending on tomorrow's matches, how the World Cup is looking like after the first day. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.